Join us as we give you the highlights of the recent general elections in the Turks and Caicos Islands on Sunday, April 6th at 7:30 p.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
Freeze! Don't move! We shoot!
Hold it right there! I said we'll shoot!
Drop it!
Just shut up!
Okay, lady. You are under arrest. Holding 2 kilos of cocaine. Are you a dealer or a buyer?
Because I'm an angel.
Do you have a lawyer here to represent you?
Yes, I do, sir.
And where is he or she?
I'm so glad to see another angel.
I'm not here to represent you, Monica.
What?
You went to the wrong address. You set a serious chain of events into motion.
When you walk down the road, heavy burden.
My motto is one girl at a time. If we start with just one thing and we build on that, I think that makes a whole big difference. When we started out, we didn't anticipate having 1,000 children here. Our goal was to reach one child at a time. The whole idea was to find a safe place for them, some place for them to express their talents and their giftings, and also a positive environment for them to be in. I do the work that I do in my community because I see that they can become more than they are. I can see that they will be great in this community. I can see born leaders. And one thing I can say, the change in them has affected their families. If we started something small, it grows, and we have a greater impact on the community as a whole. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight. They're coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. A lunchtime demonstration by taxicab drivers at Lynden Pinling International Airport bringing challenges. While operations have been returned to normal, the action still poses concern for officials. Also, millennials and Gen X visitors account for nearly half of the Bahamas' stopover visitors, a welcoming sign of diversity for tourism, according to the minister responsible. And welcoming news for the relatives of 2 men who were rescued after being missing at sea for 2 days. We have that story straight ahead. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royston Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Welcome to the broadcast. Operations at the country's main gateway are back to normal following a lunchtime demonstration by taxicab drivers that disrupted the flow of traffic at the airport and created challenges for passengers. Corval Pyfrom leads us off at 11 with the details on what led to today's action.
Tonight, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is calling the taxi drivers' actions at the airport disappointing today, charging that they were prompted by rumors leading those drivers to believe airport officials had limited their access to LPIA to pick up passengers. Here at LPIA, ordinarily, there are 4 spots reserved here at what's called a holding area for taxi cabs. They now argue, though, that they're losing business because of these folks, livery vehicles. Tyrone Butler was just recently elected president of the Taxi Drivers Union. He provides his version of what occurred.
We went to the front door with supporters of the union.
They were very frustrated, and we asked them to leave their cars. We'll just walk up there and see if we can get an audience. And it became very hostile up there, and tempers flared. That's not what we went for, but it happened.
Longtime drivers like Ian Smith, though, say the situation with livery vehicle operators has reached a tipping point.
Now, I have no problem no one getting, but it's illegal. It's a difference if it was two are supposed to be here and then the persons have a choice. They're supposed to be in a parking lot or home waiting on the website or waiting on a call-up, right?
The meeting union officials demanded with airport officials today never happened, and the demonstration lasted about an hour. There were backups and some confusion for passengers and airport users today. Eventually, though, things seemed to ease back to business as usual.
The experience for the customers coming out of the airport was not all that great. We recognize that that's not our mantra, that's not what we come to work for. But we believe that those who are responsible for running the airport should do so. And if there's any change, they should consult with this union.
And Driver Smith thinks taxi drivers are being treated like second-class citizens.
I tell you, go across the road, stand over there and tell I send the job over to you. This time, the livery guy standing right by the door greeting the guests. You know what I mean? So what is the difference?
Our news team made several calls to officials here at NAD, but we haven't heard back from them. There is a meeting scheduled for this Tuesday between the union and officials here at the airport. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
Thank you, Corvell. Well, the Nassau Airport Development Company did issue a statement this afternoon acknowledging that the union's concerns led to the airport experiencing a brief disruption to ground transportation, which again has returned to normal. Airport operators assure, though, that they're committed to working with all stakeholders and that come next week, meetings will be held with the union to address their concerns. More than 2 decades, public transportation system stakeholders have advocated for a unified public bus system, believing it would, among other things, improve reliability and safety by reducing competition among drivers and better coordinating routes. The move would also call for greater oversight of the industry, which has long been a sore point. Transport Minister, the Honourable JoBeth Colby-Davis, contends the concept is still being considered. She admits, though, its implementation right now is not a top priority, as there are more pressing matters facing the industry that need to be addressed.
We've had a lot of persons that have written in to me as minister saying, what about this area? Can you look at this? And so we've been trying to complete the audit of that, the audit of our bus stops, locations. I did do some driving with our bus drivers. I think that was early last year, where they actually took me on their routes and they showed me, Minister, look, this is where the bus stop is, but this is where our passengers stand now for safety reasons. And so because they have pointed out those immediate low-hanging fruits that we would need to address now, I would say that our focus in road traffic has been to try to improve the present immediate list of items that they've identified before we advance into a larger discussion. Will I say that it's dead? No, I just think that right now we've had a lot of immediate concerns that I think the bus drivers honestly pointed out, and they should get a response on how we improve it.
Meantime, tourism officials seeing a healthy diversity in visitor demographics. Addressing Eleuthera's annual Business Outlook Thursday, Tourism Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, shared that millennials and Gen X travelers account for nearly half of the country's stopover numbers, with baby boomers and post-millennials following closely behind.
These are signals of opportunity, as these are the segments of the market where there is higher income. They represent overall new markets, new types of tourism products, new demands that our business community is well positioned to meet. And I anticipate that you will continue to do exceedingly well in this business here in Eleuthera.
The minister's confidence in Eleuthera driven by travelers increasingly choosing the island, staying longer, spending more, and returning again and again.
Airlift into Eleuthera is stronger and more diversified than ever before. North Eleuthera, Governor's Harbor, and Rock Sound airports are now welcoming direct, non-stop flights from major U.S. hubs, including Miami, Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, Charlotte, Orlando, and West Palm Beach. In total, 6 international carriers come to Eleuthera: American Airlines, Delta, Silver Airways, Aztec, Coast Bahamas Air, and Makers Air, and are providing scheduled service into Eleuthera. Aviation and airlift is the lifeblood of the tourism business, and what we see as interest in travel to Eleuthera is a vote of confidence in the viability and the value of the island's destination.
Electricity and water issues have long plagued Eleuthera residents, and so much so that a group of them last summer took to the streets decrying the island's inconsistent utility services. But there is a renewed assurance from the Deputy Prime Minister that resolving the issue is a top priority for the government.
We understand how disruptive these outages have been for residents and businesses alike. In this era of rapid growth, digital dependence, reliable utilities is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And I want to also tell you that Minister Sweeting has been vocal at the table in addressing these matters and seeking the resources required to move them forward. I assure you once more that the government is not taking any of these matters lightly. And I look forward to a further presentation later, as I mentioned, on the details of the corrective actions being taken.
Those two men who were reported lost at sea for 2 days have now been found. Huberto Miller and Kenroy Rowe left Great Harbor Key in the Berry Islands this past Wednesday and were last seen on Chub Key that same day. A family member told ZNS News that around 5 o'clock this morning, after repeated phone calls, he was able to reach his cousin, Huberto Miller. Miller reported that the boat ran out of fuel and asked his cousin to ask search and rescue operators to look for them somewhere off the coast of Bimini. His phone died shortly thereafter. The police and defense forces, Basra, fishermen, and volunteers conducted sea and aerial searches for Miller and Roll. Tonight, the fishermen are reunited with their family in the Berry Islands. A 23-year-old female and an 18-year-old male are in police custody tonight after Drug Enforcement Unit officers seized a loaded, high-powered weapon and a loaded firearm with a quantity of ammunition from a home on Avocado Street in Pinewood Gardens shortly before 11 o'clock yesterday morning. On the heels of the scathing remarks against the Bahamian judicial system, Director of Public Prosecution Cordell Fraser is sharing some thoughts of her own. As Felicity Darville tells us, the DPP has faith things will change in the face of a newly appointed judge's criticism of a growing pile of backlog cases.
Of Public Prosecutions Cordell Fraser expressed optimism that the recent improvements currently underway will make a difference in the effectiveness of the courts, but she did not wish to comment specifically on the insights shared by newly appointed Supreme Court Justice Dale Fitzpatrick. After spending 3 months in this jurisdiction and having a heavy caseload of backlogged court matters to bear, Justice Fitzpatrick said the Bahamian system is worse than a jurisdiction in Canada where he previously presided that was known for long delays. This week, former Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Hubert Ingram, applauded him and admonished judges, prosecutors and attorneys to work harder to decrease unnecessary delays. Now, while DPP Fraser did not speak directly to the judge's comments, she said that she remains focused on ensuring that her office is carrying out its constitutional mandate as one of the major stakeholders in the judicial system. She said a number of steps have been taken by stakeholders to address this aged problem, including criminal case management rules, which came into force this year. There's also been an increase in plea agreements to aid in unclogging the system. The DPP has also been busy reassessing cases and in some cases, nolli prosequi or the dismissal of legal proceedings have been entered. Director Fraser told ZNS News that it will take time to see the full effect of all the positive changes underway in the judicial system. Civilians, she said, must be prepared to serve on jury duty. When they give witness statements, they should be prepared to follow through by attending court and giving their testimony. There's no doubt that there's a lot of work to be done, but the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution says it is committed to working alongside all stakeholders to improve our system of justice. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Thanks, Felicity. Still to come, the annual Agri Expo underway. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Baroness Patricia Scotland steps down from her post as the 6th Secretary General of the Commonwealth. She retires, leaving a rich legacy as a woman of action with a heart for the people. She recently had the opportunity to tell the Bahamas how much we meant to her during her tenure. Felicity Darville has more.
Baroness Patricia Scotland has retired as the Commonwealth Secretary General, leaving behind a legacy defined by reform, resilience, and advocacy. She was the first woman to hold the position, taking office in 2016. While in New York, Bahamian officials, including the Honorable Miles LaRota, wife of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Anne-Marie Davis, and Permanent Secretary Fedra Ramming Turnquest, had the opportunity to pay her an official visit, bearing beautiful Bahamian gifts. When they sat down, she shared why the Commonwealth of Nations is still relevant today.
If you were trying to create the Commonwealth today, you probably couldn't do it. Because, you know, guys of the Pacific and the Caribbean and Asia and Africa and Europe and the Americas, why would we all know each other or be together if not for our common history?
The Bahamas is particularly near and dear to her heart. She received the Bahamas Order of Excellence Award from Governor General Dame Cynthia Pratt following an excellent partnership with former Minister the Honorable Obadiah Wilchcombe as they worked together to pull off 13 WAM, one of the most significant Women's Affairs Ministers' meetings to date.
A very warm and heartfelt thank you for everything that the Bahamas have done, for partnering with us in this incredibly important journey in terms of women and empowerment and ending violence. And you know that you and the Bahamas have been stalwart campaigners and supporters of this whole agenda.
One of the highlights of her tenure, the Baroness launched the Climate Finance Access Hub, raising over $310 million to support climate resilience projects. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
For a chance to get their feet wet in the journalism industry here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, several primary school students competed against each other using communication skills they've acquired under the mentorship of local public speaking development clubs. Daniel Dean tells us more.
It started with 50 students of the Judith P. Thompson Primary School, then narrowed down to 25. And in the end, 3 boys and 3 girls went head-to-head in the speech competition called Voices of Tomorrow. This is all thanks to months of training by Club 1600 and Club 7178, the all-male and female branch of communication and public speaking development organization, Toastmasters.
Well, the thing that we always wanted to work on was the 3 C's: confidence, communication, and then we also touched on consequences. So with these speaking skills, we want to make sure that, hey, when they're in a situation, when they have conflict, they can use their speaking skills, they can use their communication skills, they can use their debating skills. It doesn't have to resort to violence, it doesn't have to resort to anything else other than just basic communication.
The students, expressive and creative in speech, some even breaking out into song, worked tirelessly to present their best, according to President of the first Bahamas branch of Toastmasters, Club 1600, Cameron Reckley.
When you lend a helping hand, you watch some people the way success instead of watching them fail.
But if you want to go further, then we need to go together.
We are the mighty cheaters.
But of the pack, 10-year-old Samia Wallace emerged the victor, making this clever observation and subsequently pivoting to her benefit.
When the first person went, Ashania, I saw she couldn't do all of the stuff because she had the mic in her hand. It was going to give me like a disadvantage because I couldn't move around and do other stuff. Because I actually feel really good because I just went and won this like a couple of weeks ago and I won first place with this. And now I'm back at the school again and I'm winning first place with an even bigger trophy.
It's an exciting time because we would have never thought that our school would have been chosen to have been doing this, especially not a primary school, because you would think when you had Toastmasters that they would totally cater to the high school students more because they're able to speak and articulate themselves better, but it's a good thing that they're doing this with the primary school children.
Only boy in the top 3, Demarion Sanders, excitedly holds on to this promise by Club 1600, 7178, and partners, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
We are going to have a chance to at least have a job at ZNS. So we we decided that we was going to practice so that if they do take us up there, we know how to communicate, make eye contact, and talk to people.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
An inspiring story. Congratulations to all the students. Medical experts predict that around 1 in every 5 women may at some point experience fertility challenges. And it's for this reason a team of obstetrician gynecologists and other medical specialists have assembled at the Atlantis Resort for the 2nd annual Fertility Enhancement Conference. Lloyd Allen reports.
Motherhood, an important experience for most women, and while some do experience challenges, the 2nd annual Fertility Empowerment International Conference, now underway at the Atlantis Resort, is designed to help those women with challenges experience that also wonderful blessing of motherhood.
So 13 years ago, I would have been going through my IVF journey right now, after repeated failures, after repeated losses. And tonight, I actually have here present with me my daughter, my miracle, who is a symbol of hope.
Better known as Dr. Taz, Stewart, in this 2nd installment brings together a cadre of professionals and partners, all to support those with varying fertility concerns.
We have several practitioners who are local and also from our international community. Several of them are in the area of reproductive endocrinology, where we have them, they specialize in IVF and IUI. We also have Dr. Mary, who is one who's doing some stem cell research here in the Bahamas alongside Doctors Hospital.
One of the partners is Dana Mullings-Gray, Superintendent of the Bahamas Insurance Commission.
As a platinum sponsor, the Insurance Commission is here to say that we support the cause of this particular event. We're also speaking on women empowerment issues, but more particularly women fertility empowerment issues. And so again, what does the insurance fund look like? Are there carriers or insurers that actually cover some of these issues? And if so, are we actually having the bigger and the broader conversation?
Christy Butler, Managing Director for the National Health Insurance Authority, says both as a woman and as head of the NHI organization, understanding fertility challenges is critical to changing the narrative of fertility intervention.
There is a stigma in country around women who have challenges with reproduction, and so we want to make sure that our benefits align with what it is that our beneficiaries need and to provide support.
The 2-day event aims to target major issues like understanding disorders like polycystic ovary syndrome, as well as other physical and mental occurrences which can impact a woman's ability to reproduce. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thank you, Lloyd. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources kicking off its 3-day Agri-Business Expo this morning at the Farmers Market grounds on Gladstone Road. The event is another way of underscoring the importance of food security and also providing an opportunity for Bahamian vendors to promote their products. At a time when there is so much anxiety about the global economy, Acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, who officially opened the expo, says addressing issues like food sovereignty deserves urgent action.
In this era of global uncertainty, such dependency puts us at very serious risk. Geopolitical instability, supply chain disruptions, tariff wars, climate change, pandemics, these are all things that's not distant threats. They are today's realities. Local food production is no longer luxury or an afterthought. It is a national imperative.
Agriculture and Marine Resources Minister Jomo Campbell is encouraging everyone to come out and support this expo, which runs through Sunday. Minister Campbell says it's inspiring, educational, and empowering.
We have over 20 Bahamian vendors, and everything you see out here today is locally sourced, locally produced, and being distributed throughout the local community. And that's what we want to do. We want to highlight the beauty of being Bahamian.
Some good news for the junior junk canoe community tonight. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bolag, telling ZNS News at this past weekend's Eleuthera Junior Junk Canoe Parade that he plans to increase seed funding for junior junk canoers in the 2025-2026 budget. He's impressed with the level of dedication administrators, teachers, students, and their parents put into each parade, and he feels more money should be dispersed to elevate this aspect of our culture.
You know, jungle is a very expensive venture, and even though the little that we give, even in the senior jungle parade, they'll tell you it's not enough. But there's only so much we can do as a government. That's why we're happy for Disney Cruise for coming on board and assisting us in a few of the family islands. And so when we get corporate sponsors on board, it helps us a lot to defray some of that cost. And so it's very important to be able to financially support these schools, but make sure that the kids have an opportunity to have fun, showcase their talent in front of their parents.
Eugene Stewart has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Eugene?
Champions crowned in BAISS soccer action. Details of that story coming up in sports.
We seem to remember our athletes when they make us proud at the finish line. A jungle parade when they return home, toss them a few dollars. And then forget about them until the next Members of the prestigious Fourth Estate should never sell themselves to any politician. Instead, keep their hands and noses clean in order to publish or broadcast the unadulterated truth. Well, that's how I see it anyway.
Read as I see it, exclusively at CNNSBahamas.com. New articles premiere on Mondays at 9 a.m.
Welcome to your Feel Good Friday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Eugene Stewart. World champions crowned in the senior division of the BAISS Soccer Championships. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. A packed house at the Roscoe Davies playing field for the senior girls and boys matchups. In Game 1, the Comets of Queens College faced off against the Dragons of Lyford Key School. The Comets worked their offense, but the Dragons proved to be the better defensively. Lyford Key would maintain a steady 3-1 lead through the match. The Comets looked to redeem themselves, but the Dragons roared their way to victory, securing the senior girls title. Head coach duo Sarah Ilgen-Fritz and Anissa Albury on the program's second consecutive championship.
We knew we were going to have to work. Honestly, the skill is there, the talent is there, but today it was really about digging deep. It was about players stepping up and taking charge of the game when we needed them to in multiple different positions. It was really a team win.
We're just excited. We're so proud of our school. I mean, our school puts in a lot of effort into our program, and I think that shined today as well.
For the senior boys, Windsor faced off against the St. Andrews Hurricanes. Despite early defensive pressure from the Hurricanes, Windsor struck first to take a 1-0 lead in the opening half. St. Andrews responded with a much more aggressive approach, leading to a penalty that put Windsor up 2-0. After the half, the Hurricanes managed to score one, but Windsor held firm to seal a 2-1 victory and capture their title. Head coach Killian Lyons on what this championship means for his young lads.
I'm delighted. It's been a long time coming, a lot of work. I can't say enough about these guys. 6 o'clock sessions before school, so they've put in the work, they've bought into the process, different things we've tried out, and they've come out every day and done exactly it, so I can't be prouder of them now.
And in hoops news, after entering the NCAA portal, former North Alabama Lions guard Verone Charlton speaks on her mindset moving forward and the progress of women's basketball in the country.
I've had a lot of wonderful coaches reach out to me saying they want to get to talk to me and me coming to visit, so I'm happy that coaches have interest in me and they see my potential. I'm happy to see that it's growing finally and more girls are trying to stick with basketball to go further and go to colleges. So it's good to see that the Bahamas is evolving.
And that's been your Feel Good Friday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Eugene Stewart. Stay tuned. We've got weather when we return.
Bahamas
Striping group of companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royston. Yesterday, Colorado State University posted their 2025 hurricane season prediction, and they're looking at some 17 named storms, so it's going to be a pretty busy season with 9 of those named storms becoming hurricanes, and we're looking at 4 major hurricanes during the 2025 hurricane season. But as I always tell my viewing audience, do not worry too much with the numbers. Just be prepared for that one that may be coming your way. And satellite pictures will continue to show breezy and dry conditions throughout the 700 islands, but that will change come early next week. Around Tuesday, we'll see an increase in moisture in our atmosphere. Some showers and thunderstorms developing, particularly around Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini. That's going to be around Tuesday evening, and that will carry over into Wednesday, where we could have some heavy showers at time, and that will bring an end to the drought conditions that we have been currently experiencing. And your temperatures around the islands, 80 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Green Turtle Key, Marsh, Abaco at 81 degrees, 80 degrees in the Berry Islands, 79 in Alistown, Bimini, 78 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, 81, Otterstown, Cat Island, 82, Black Point, Exuma at 81 degrees, 81 also in Kemp Space, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. As we head into Georgetown, Exuma, 83 degrees, Rim Key and San Salvador, 82, 81 in Crooked Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, and Ragged Island. Acklands and Betsy Bay may go on at 83 degrees, Matsutan and Agua 81, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. And your forecast tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy, still breezy, with a low temperature around 73 degrees, and tomorrow it's going to be partly sunny and windy again, with a high temperature getting up to 83 degrees, and we will start out the morning at around 74 degrees, and that should be perhaps our low temperature overnight, and that will gradually climb, peaking at 83 degrees around 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Extended weather forecast, pretty nice weather through the weekend, rather toasty. It's going to be summer-like. Those temperatures getting up into the mid-80s, but come at Tuesday, you will see some increase in cloudiness as we head into the evening hours, and overnight showers and thunderstorms will develop, carrying into Wednesday. That's when that frontal system will go through, and once the front goes through, we will see some nice nighttime temperatures returning in the 60s, and that will start on Wednesday night, and that will take us right into the weekend. So a beautiful end of the week is shaping up for you. Royston.
Things are warming up quite nicely. Thank you so much, Basil. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Make sure to tune into the Weekend Edition with Desmond Saunders. Thank you for watching, and have a great weekend.
At the Office of the Prime Minister, I'm Devontae Hanna. This is ZNS.
Oh, hey, where are you guys going?
Oh, to the movie.
See ya.